Louis was really smirking. Louis was really laughing in Daniel's face. Y'all, we gotta talk about this episode right now. Okay, I'm not wasting no time. We getting right into the episode, okay? So, in the beginning, Armand is already pissing me off, right? He's already pissing me off because Louis is describing Paris, and here come Armand talking about may I try? Paris was an awakening for Louis. Girl, if you don't get to... Girl, if you don't shut up. So I'm like, okay, Armand definitely is going to be playing this really heavy... This entire interview, let me just get my mind ready for this. So the conversation they're having here kind of approaches an argument about what Paris was at the time. But for Louis, he said that Paris was healing just like he and Claudia were healing, right? So it was perfect for them, right? Except the people living in Paris are broke. Claudia said, damn, y'all hoes ain't got no money. We picking y'all bones. Claudia said, we picking they bones and it's getting hard to pay the light bill a little bit. Like, what's going on? Like, I had to downgrade my champagne. These girls, I mean, walk around these cheap-ass purses, these men, these ugly-ass, cheap-ass shoes, fake-ass diamonds. Y'all ain't got shit, Claudia said, girl. I'm going through their wallet. I'm going through their pocketbooks, bitch. They ain't got shit. And while she's saying that, Louis over here in La La Land as usual, while Claudia is thinking about the bills, right? Louis over here talking about truth is more valuable if it takes you a few years to find it. Louis, you are lucky that you're cute, okay? You're lucky that you're cute. You need to get your ass down there and help Claudia count the money. What the hell is wrong with you? Claudia said that truth don't pay the rent. Louis said, please just give Paris a little time. He said, damn, Claudia, can you let them clock in first? Can you let them make a coin first? So we learned that it is custom, like when you're traveling and you're a vampire, that you need to make yourself known to the local coven, kind of like, or not need to, but it's just like, okay, you here, like show yourself, like what's the tea, girl, like, you know. But these are new vampires. They didn't know the tea. They didn't know nothing about that. So they just chilling around, like Louis and Claudia just chilling, right? Like, and Armand's cover's watching like, damn, y'all ain't gonna say nothing. I love how in the beginning, Armand was trying to be cute and like with these responses, and Daniel keeps just brushing it off in the interview like, okay, girl. That's kind of how I was feeling about Armand. I was just like, boy, move, all this talking, like, oh my gosh. This part though, where Louis was like, the people there might have wanted me to sing and dance for my food, but I was just grateful no one wanted to lynch me. So, and then here comes Armand, like, that's all he was saying, Mr. Malloy. At that point, Daniel's like saying what I'm thinking, like, Armand, can you shut the hell up, bro? Like, Daniel says, are you two gonna finish each other's sentences for the whole session? And then Louis snarky ass gonna say, well, girl, we've been together for nearly a century. You do the math, mama. And I was like, whoa, the Butch Queens. I was like, oh, the Butch Queens, they tussling, girl. We just started the episode, like, what's the tea? They tussling. But, of course, Daniel is not entertained in the least or convinced. He's just like, okay, girl, just keep selling it. Armand's face here is it's like, excuse me. Anyway, so we got to see where they lived, where Louis and Claudia lived. They lived around the deviants, right? As to be expected, the scoundrels of the city, right? We learned that for 5 months, Armand and his coven kind of just watched over Louis a little bit, like just spying on them almost, because the coven's just like 2 kilometers away, Armand said, from Louis and Claudia's apartment. And he was like, they never came over. Louis was like, Lestat drowned me in theater. I wasn't trying to go over there at all. Like, so Armand kept watching them. He figured out Claudia's and Louis' dynamic, basically called them boring. Like, for vampires, y'all are boring. Louis is always in the red room, right? Armand was like, is there really nothing to see here with y'all? All he do is arts and crafts, girl. Okay, so let me move to this scene because we had already seen it in the promos, right? I love when Claudia was like, girl, sometimes I want the short answer. When Louis was describing what he's looking for when he takes the photograph, she's like, damn, this queer can talk, honey. And yeah, okay. So essentially, Claudia was like, okay, so girl, you read their thoughts. Damn, like that's all you had to say. And he was like, I shortcut it. You caught me. Take the win. Let me think I'm deeper than I am. And it's just like, no, girl, you are always lost in some fantastic tale. And I'm not here for it. Claudia ain't here for that shit. Of course, also loved when Claudia asked Louis who he really is. Without me, without Claudia, without Lestat, who are you, Louis? What do you want and how are you gonna get there? And it's like, yeah, girl, Claudia asking you the questions you need to be asking yourself, bro. Like, come on now. Come on now. Daniel thinks that Claudia thought Paris sucked so bad and she hated it so much but she was too afraid to mess with Louis' emotions. On the other hand, Louis thinks that Claudia was just giving him permission to explore a life apart from her. And I personally think it was a mix of both, mostly leaning toward Claudia hated, some of the stuff that was going on, hated Paris. She don't like being in a box, she wanted to meet people. She wanted people, by people, I mean vampires. She wanted to be, so I think it's a mix of both. I love how Armand reacts as Daniel keeps insulting Louis, right? Especially given what happens later on in the episode. Armand then says, oh, Daniel is thinking about his ex, not Claudia. Like, essentially a way to come back at Daniel for his insults or shade. It's just like he reads his mind or he gets the thought, he gets the memory coming up from Daniel when he's thinking about certain things or when we're describing certain things and he's thinking about his ex-girl. That's why he's in such a tizzy, mama. So Louis goes in and digs up those memories, mama. And essentially we find out that when Alice told Daniel that she was pregnant, he responded in a less than favorable way, to say the least, right? Leaves before the bill is even paid, says he has to work. It's just a terrible response. But Daniel gets in front of what Louis and I guess Armand, but Louis is trying to do, right? By completing the story before Louis can drag it all out. And he's like, okay, Daniel's like, okay, yes, we all know what I did was terrible, but he tries to focus it, bring the focus back to Louis and the story. And I don't know, okay, I don't know. If it would be so traumatic to be interviewing telepaths who could strike at you like this, right? So that's why, while I do understand Daniel's defiance and snarkiness, I just honestly don't understand pushing so hard or pushing this hard if I'm not a telepath myself, and I know, it's two telepaths, right? So, and I know telepath is not the most accurate way to describe, Armand and Louis, but still, you know what I mean? I don't know. Daniel was pushing really hard the entire first season and into the second before Louis and Armand really responded in any kind of way like this. So I don't know, did Daniel overplay his hand? Did he not see did he not think he was overplaying his hand? Or, you see what I'm saying? I don't know. I just would not be gagged or surprised that I got a response like this if I was pushing these vampires, these, you know what I mean? The old ass vampires this hard, with the jokes and shade. So I don't know, y'all. And this wasn't even the tip of the iceberg, clearly. So we go back to reading Claudia's diary where she was like, yeah, this sucks, but Louis needs this. Louis needs Paris. I'm afraid my joylessness will take away his happiness. Claudia was so mean to this. Claudia was so mean to this woman, but she did kind of play in her face. Claudia was like, you old lonely hag in this dress shop by yourself, and you almost about to deny your only potential customer, and you trying me in my face about pretending to be something. Like, girl, you don't feel weird about your situation before you try to come in on mine? That shit was so funny. Claudia's getting this dress altered. Real happy about that. She seems real happy about that. Rashid brings out the photographs. Now, Louis and Armand took pictures of their grinder hookups and shit. Armand said some are very old now, some are dead, some we drained for sport. Well, not Louis really, because he don't do that shit. I'm just like, girl, so y'all cruising. They cruising in the park. Louis is literally cruising in this park. I know it smelled crazy in there. You see what I'm saying? So Armand spots him and comes up to him, and Louis was about to describe this shit. Go back to the interview. Louis was about to describe this, and then Armand keeps jumping in, and y'all think that shit is cute and fun. It really wasn't. Y'all just cut that shit out. Louis talking about something. I'll describe it myself, like playful shit. Girl. It's not that. It's not. Daniel sarcastically responds to them like, "Aw, where better to find the right kind of love than a public park?" Oh my gosh. Either way, Armand showed up at the park like, yo, it's been way too long. Y'all vampires just been chilling here. You haven't made yourself known to the Coven. Like, are y'all toying with me? I can only hold back the Coven for so long. Louis said that he thought Armand was going to kill him when he showed up. And that makes sense because he said he felt his power, that this was a powerful being or just like a powerful vampire. But I roll my eyes so hard when they talk about the first words Armand said to Louis, "I will not harm you." Like, they said it at the same time. I was like, oh, this would be cute if I actually trusted Armand. Like, this would be cute if I actually trusted that Louis was not somewhere in La La Land. He was not somewhere in the land of delusion while getting played with. Like, it would be really cute if I could actually trust Armand worth a damn, but I cannot. Girls finishing each other's sentences. The girl, cut that shit out. It's not that cute, girl. Anyway, this is where he gets the invitation to go to the Theatre des Vampires, right? They were looking at each other like they were gonna screw right there in the park. I was like, okay, y'all, like, damn, that's intense. Louis, how often do you frequent that park? Anyway, and where is it? Anyway, of course, Claudia's excited to go. Like, she been wanting to meet other vampires and stuff. She got the dress just in time. Of course, they got dressed up and they go. Child, this damn Coven is a mess. So we enter the theater, right? And we learn essentially that the clientele here isn't the typical theater crowd, snobby theater crowd. They in there throwing glasses and screwing each other and stuff. So it's that kind of atmosphere. We start the show. Santiago comes out, does his big introduction, of course. Claudia can tell that he's flying because the rope is limp and he's still moving around. So they're really vampires in here doing their thing, acting like they're humans just putting on a show, right? So I love the end where it seems like he's definitely talking about humans for real. Like, he's looking in their faces, like not on no acting stuff. Like, he looked at them and said, y'all are disgusting. We laughing at your misery. Everything that you're about to see here is real. And every nasty thing that happens here, you are complicit in it. You're repugnant. And I love you for it. Like, it was just like, you're really talking about how disgusted you are with human beings to their faces. And it's so, like, they're paying to see, like, it's just so, oh my goodness, it's so kind. So, and that's what Claudia saw. Like, it's just so trippy. The actor who plays Santiago is so good. I loved his performance, of course, just the drama of it all. So we went through some plays, of course, that always ended, Louis said, in death or violence. He said they were weird. Of course, Claudia is getting her whole life, right? Watching this, just really enjoying herself. But as Armand said, the only play that really mattered was the last one, right? So, girl, let's talk about Miss Mama's. I think her name was Annika or something like that. Let's talk about Miss Mama's, girl. Like, she came... Oh, my God. She came out on this stage like, girl, wait, no, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. Wait, please listen. Like, they really about to kill me, girl. Like, they really, but like, this ain't no play shit. Like, I'm up here acting, girl. Like, my name is not Sydney Sweeney, girl. I'm not up here like this, like, bitch. They about to really kill me, girl. And the audience, at least at first, the audience thinks that she acted up there like she definitely not, but they think so. So they laughing and stuff. She's like, I don't want to die. Someone please call my husband. And this guy's like, well, I'll call him for you, baby. Then the theater laughs and I was like, oh my God. I was watching this shit like, oh my God, this lady about to die. I was like, this lady about to die, y'all. Like, this lady about to die. Y'all laughing at her face like this lady about to die. I'm fucking screaming, girl. Like, this lady's about to die. Oh my God. There was a couple times where I was like, wait, is this show trying to trick me? And she's not actually gonna die. But nah, I was like, nah, this girl about to die. I was like, this girl about to die. And keep in mind, Santiago's closing in and doing all his speech about humans, whatever the fuck he be doing. Girl, she's getting more and more frantic, just more and more frantic. Like, it's just to the point where you feel it in your chest as a viewer, like this, like, just frantic. The audience thinks she putting on a good show. Louis' facial expressions here. He's just, oh my God, he knows what's about to happen. He just hates it. Claudia knows what's about to happen. She loves it. She loves it. It was so creepy how Santiago used his power to calm her, because the whole time, the whole scene, you're feeling her frantic nature, right? Because she knows she's about to die. The whole time, the whole scene, you feeling that shit in your chest, right? The whole time. And then Santiago uses powers and she just calms. It's just like serenity, no pain. You know what I mean? Just serenity. What he said? Do you know what it means to be loved by death? The name of the episode, of course. And it's just like, girl, well, I mean, if I didn't know today, if I didn't know yesterday, I'm going to know today, right? Like, you asking me the question, do you know what it means to be loved by death? Well, girl, I guess I'm about to fucking find out. Oh my God. I guess I'm about to find out. What are you talking about? And then Santiago does the deed. Of course, the other people on stage appearing out of nowhere here. Y'all, that scared this. It was so good. It was so good. Like, scared the shit out of me. Creepy, good. Just, but that scared the shit out of me. They all got their piece. They all got their piece of meat out of Miss Mama's. They stood up. And then they dropped that body down the vampire garbage disposal. Like, girl, you... Oh, y'all are terrible. That's terrible. That poor girl. Oh, my God. So Louis, of course, is disgusted. But Santiago then, winked at him anyway. Like, hey, girl. I'm just like, Louis, you are disgusted by everything that vampires do. You should have never been turned, bro. You just need to... But I understand. Like, that was crazy. Right, so they go backstage to meet the Coven. This was trippy. Now, the Coven tries to intimidate them at first, but they laugh it off. It was just like a joke real quick. And then the son and father here, I remember when the father looks younger than the son. That was funny. Santiago tries to get the real tea, right? And asks Louis and Claudia, okay, so who's your maker? This girl, Claudia, gonna say Bruce. Sis said Bruce. Sis said Bruce Wayne. She said... Bruce, he turned us into vampires in an alleyway right after his parents got shot up, and then he threw himself in a fire. Bruce. Yeah, Bruce. And Louis is like, yeah. Girl. Okay. And then Claudia asked the question she apparently been wanting to ask since she stepped in. She looked at this Benjamin Franklin Thomas Jefferson I own slaves ass picture of Lestat and said, who the hell is that? Like she ain't know the answer. Girl, it's Lestat. And not only is it Lestat, he co-founded this whole... You gotta get out of my face! You got to get out of my face. Not only is he here, not only is Lestat even around this bitch... He done co-founded it. That's what you talking about? You got to be kidding me right now. Daniel going into this accent to mimic a telenovela had me I'm just like, just because of how disrespectful Daniel is, that shit had me cackling. It's just literally playing that music while Armand was trying to talk. Daniel, don't act surprised that this is a soap opera. We are literally watching queer vampires. It's supposed to be messy. That's why we watch it. It's supposed to be messy, girl. And let me tell you something. Y'all did not disappoint with the mess. Daniel was like, so wow, this is a disaster. You both effed Lestat. Y'all both screwed Lestat. And our mom was like, well, yes, but also I did have sex with Santiago and Estelle and blah, blah, blah. Like, girl, whatever, Armand. Like, y'all can try to make it seem like, oh, it was this whatever. But you screwed Lestat, hun. Y'all dated or whatever, y'all was together. And that has obvious implications for where the story is going. Let's not play dumb, mama. So Claudia was like, look, Batman was the only name I could think of. I did what I had to do. Once I saw Lestat's stupid picture on the wall, I did what I had to do, but it will be fine. Claudia was essentially saying they won't find out, like the Coven won't find out that we killed him unless one of us tells them. Right? But then Louis says, actually, all we'd have to do is think it and they could find out. And Claudia said, nobody was thinking shit about you besides how hot you were. So unless you, Estelle, right? So unless you F it up, we should be fine. Now, Claudia loved watching the vampires drain that girl right in front of their dumb faces. That's what she said. And she said she felt vampire pride and she wants to go back. But Louis rightfully thinks it's too dangerous. Of course, if you see a picture of Lestat hanging on the wall, you need to back away. That's just plain and simple. But Claudia was like, no, it's not dangerous. You're just scared of your lust toward Armand. And I felt his towards you too. And then she said, now I know what two fat peens slapping hands feels like thanks to y'all. And I was like, oh my gosh, Claudia. She said what that one ugly ass homophobic pastor said. Which pastor isn't? But what did she say? She said, I get so sick of sissies. That's what Claudia said. I get so sick of sissies. I don't know what to do. I'm so sick of sissies. That's what she said. Oh my God. But then she says, girl, you can take them whack ass pictures all you want and go study them in the rap room. I want to be with my own kind, and you ain't gonna mess this up for me. And that's just it. Woo, I love Claudia so much, y'all. Like, I'm sorry. I love Claudia so much. But this is a mess. This is a disaster. Once you've seen Lestat's face, y'all should have gone, seeing if you could go back in time to undo the fact that y'all went there. But it's like, you should have, but anyway, we wouldn't have mess if Louis made decisions that made sense, if Claudia made decisions that made sense. So Louis goes to this, like, Roger and Associates, I think, just to make sure that Lestat is dead, because if we're going to be in his coven, we need to make sure that he ain't nowhere to be seen. Like, what are you talking about? Now, the guy here was like, all right, cut the shit. We think he's dead. We haven't heard from him. We haven't heard from Lestat since 1940. He hasn't made a withdrawal since forever. Just take this box. I was instructed to do so just in case something like this were to happen. And in there is a letter to Louis from Lestat. Girl, when I tell you I gagged, Lestat's hand came down and I gagged. I think that was such a smooth way to incorporate Dream Lestat into the episode, right? So Lestat was saying shit like, something dreadful has occurred. It is not my own death, but the fact that we now exist in two different worlds. I'm just like, girl, Lestat is so dramatic. Such a dramatic sissy. Such a dramatic sissy. I'm like, oh my goodness. It was a mind melt, I should say, listening to Lestat talk about his killer, like, don't chase after the person who did this, let treachery eat away at them. And then he would turn around and describe the love he had for Louis and how he was the only being that he trusted. I love how the back and forth of that letter represents their relationship, the back and forth of the abusive dynamic, I love how the letters describing the same person, right? And just, that's what their relationship was, how they would, it's just, I loved it. But it was so trippy. Cause girl, your killer and your lover are the same person. Like I said, hate to break it to you, Lestat. Louis is going through it. Just distraught, just extremely conflicted, I'm sure, right? Just a mess. So we come out of it to the interview. Obviously, Louis is feeling like shit after having recounted that story, but Daniel just continues on dragging him. Like, Daniel keeps going at him. Just like, what Daniel's saying is giving rebound of the year with you too. Armand, is at first like, okay, chill out. Louis just shared something haunting with you, and like you're making a joke out of it. Daniel's like, whatever, I'm just playing around, it's just a joke. And then Louis wakes it up. Louis starts pulling up the memories of Alice, and he puts them right up on the big screen, put it on the jumbo screen, bitch, for everybody to see. Girl, Daniel starts shaking, honey. It's giving tectonic tremors, okay? And I saw Daniel shaking earlier in the episode, and I raised my eyebrows a little bit, but now I see that it's because he's really on edge. Daniel's getting tore up because while Louis is pressing him, right? Louis is already pressing him. Armand does this little mental attack as well. So they stretching his mind up, bitch. Like, they stretching his mind up. Armand he goes even deeper to childhood shit. He's like, you was selling your dad's mags at the park in middle school. We're getting your tea, babes. And then so when Daniel comes back around, he'd been gone for so long that Louis said, well, I'll ask you for a third time. What did Alice say to you when you asked her to marry you, girl? And Daniel's crying by this point, tears and shaking, all type of shit. She said no. And then Louis laughs, girl. The smirk, it felt like a knife had sliced through this TV. You see what I'm saying? Through the screen, how sharp that moment was. That other side, that evil, maniacal side of Louis, where he smiled. I was like, oh, you felt that shit through the screen, bitch. Like, you felt that shit. You just felt it. Oh, I got my life. I was like, this stunty butch queen. Y'all already know these are butch queens. What I say, and I say the reason I know is because I am one myself. That is a shady, evil, maniacal butch queen, girl. Ooh, I got my life. And they went even further because Louise, like, we don't have to stop there. Like, we can actually go and see what she thinks of you now. Girl, they sunned him so bad. But that's why I was like, why would you press so hard against these vampires, Daniel? Like, I get the jokes and the sly shades and shit, but it's like, unless you coming in there like Professor X, you know what I mean? Or Emma Frost, like, these bitches got telepathy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not finna overplay my shit. I don't know. But okay, so a month later, they got invited on a hunt. And I love learning that hunting together as vampires feels better for vamps, right? And the longer you do it, I think the longer you hunt it together, the more ravenous y'all got. It's something like that, right? Where it's this social, like, you know, thing that hunting feels good, better when you're doing it as a pack, as a group, whatever. Claudia's loving it. She's walking on sunshine. Okay. Now we saw some of the scene already, right, from the promos when they attack this estate here while Louis and Armand talk. I love Claudia leaving. She was like, all right, y'all homos can stay here and talk. I'm gonna go eat. So the chaos in the background was so much fun to watch, y'all. I think in the behind the scenes, Jacob had said that he would sometimes get startled and like jump a little bit at the noises that were being made in the back while they were trying to act and stuff. But Assad had remained super focused instead. I would have been jumping while the actors and stuff were making all that noise and shit in the background. But it was such an interesting thing to watch. And to me, it felt so like Inception-y, because I feel like this is kind of how Louis' relationships always go. Like, there's chaos, or have gone so far. Like, there's chaos happening all over the place, all around him, but he's just stuck in a trance, right, with this other person while the world falls to shit around him. But like, you know, we already seen this in a promo, like I said, like they're flirting and stuff, but eventually we get to the point of the convo where Armand was like, listen, just between us girls, I can definitely tell that you froze up when we brought up Lestat's name, girl. Like your entire wig, underneath your wig was showing, like your slip was showing. Like, girl, we really had, like, we got your tea, girl. Like, I got your tea. And Louise gonna say, who? Like, as if to say, like, who's Lestat? And I was like, boy, please. Boy, please. And that's what Armand said. Like, girl, you really tried that. Nice try, mama. But you better clean that shit up next time. You better clean that shit up, because the others in my coven are not like me. First of all, Claudia is better at blocking her thoughts than you. You need to close that mind up. That's what's wrong with you, girl. I already told you, Louis. You in La La Land. You got your mind floating all over the place. Girl, close that mind up. Shut that book up. Lock that brain up, girl, sometimes. Girl, Armand came in and just completely said, listen, we pulled the wig off you, girl, and we seen what the tea was. Like, we know, girl. And by the way, and what the kicker was, he said one more thing: don't go to Roger and Associates. I know I'm saying that shit wrong, but you know what I mean. The place where he went to check to see if Lestat was fucking dead or not. He said, Armand was like, don't go to that shit no more. Don't do that shit no more, because that sort of inquiry can open all sorts of trouble. And listen, that kind of clocking would have had me on hush for the rest of the hunt, for the rest of the motorcycle ride, girl, for the rest of the ride. You know when you almost make a mistake while you driving or something, and then after that you just got to turn the music down and just ride in silence for the rest of the ride, and just think about the dumb shit that you almost did. Like, it's that kind of abrupt switch in energy and attitude what you would have seen with me, girl. Armand clocked me like that, girl. Armand clocked me like that, girl. I would have shut the hell up. And that's exactly what Louis did. He was like, you're right, girl. You're right. Armand was like, you don't have to call me by my, you know what I mean, commander name, but like, you know, I did clock your tea. I did get you. I did see your wig slip a little bit and slide a little bit when Lestat was brought up. Just wanted to let you know before one of these other crazy motherfuckers like Santiago or Estelle get their claws on you, girl. Just letting you know. This episode was everything. And this to me, because episode 1 was such a great premiere. This second episode was such a great follow-up to it. It seems like it's just things are just gonna keep escalating, because if you think you're gonna walk around here and they not gonna clock your tea, that your pulse change every time Lestat name come out, every time you see that old George Washington ass wig sitting up there in that painting, bitch, every time you walk around that painting, honey, they see that wig is shifting, they see that pulse. If you think you gonna walk around here, they're not gonna see that shit, girl. I got another thing. You got another thing coming, girl. Like Armand already on your ass. So it's just gonna get messy, and I cannot wait to see it. Thank y'all so much for watching. Leave your comments below. Y'all already know that I will be reviewing every episode this season, so stay tuned, subscribe, because next week another review is coming at you. Love y'all so much, and I'll check y'all later. Peace. All right, y'all, make sure that you're going to www.zoraxia.com. When you join the wait list there on the site, you will be the first to be notified when I drop my sequel. Also, you'll immediately get chapter 1 of my upcoming sequel of the upcoming book sent to your email as a PDF. So check that out. Also, this is a different excerpt from my upcoming book, so you definitely want to pause to read if you're trying to get your life. Keep in mind that this upcoming book, this sequel, is following up the first book that is already released called Zoraxia, Wrath of the God King. I released it a few years ago. It was my introduction to writing fantasy and stuff, so just go easy on me. But either way, as you can see here, it's given 4.9 stars. It's given 4.9 stars. So yeah, check out Zoraxia, Wrath of the God King while you wait for Zoraxia, The Vengeance of Coldwind, right? And go to Zoraxia.com, sign up, join the wait list, get your free chapter. Thank you so much.